Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Welcome to lesson 2 of Gurbani study. This is volume 2, doing the Mool Mantra and the first 5 Paudis of Japji Sahib. So today we're going to do Satnam. And again, as I mentioned last week, the Mool Mantra is extremely deep and complex. So we're going to try to go above the really basic English definition, and at the same time, obviously, we don't have the capability of teaching at the highest level where authors have written books on these words. So hopefully we'll increase your knowledge a bit, but still make it understandable and relatable so you can actually use what you learn to improve your everyday life. So the first word is Sat. And as your facilitators have told you, yes, Sat literally means true, but it means more than that. It means permanent. And in Gurbani, whenever you see the word Sat, you should understand that Sat does not literally mean true, it means permanent. And a word for false means impermanent, means it's temporary. So God here is Sat. He is true, meaning he is permanent. And there are two ways to identify an object. And there's one way where you can use the name of the object, which in Gurbani we call Sarup, the Sarup form, calling someone by their name. So for example, if someone wanted to call me, they could say Angad, and I would know they're talking about me, because that's my name. The second way of identifying a person is using their description or their attributes. And in Gurbani we call this Roop. So you have Sarup, which is the name of a person or a thing, and then you have the description or attributes, which are called the Roop. So you can identify someone by Sarup or by Roop. So here, Sat, meaning permanent or true, is the Sarup form of identifying God. This is the direct name for God. And the Roop form of God comes later, Nirbhav, Nirvair. Those are describing God. Similarly, for a person, again, I said my name is Angad, that would be the Sarup form. The Roop form would be someone wearing a maroon-colored dastar, wearing a checkered shirt with glasses. That is a Roop form of describing someone. So in Gurbani, Sarup here for God represents Sat, permanent, true, and then the Roop form is a description, such as Nirbhav, Nirvair, and so forth. So I wanted to point that out, the ways of identifying God, the Sarup and the Roop form. And looking at the extra Bani or the additional Bani on page 38 of your workbook, for Sat, we have here Guru Nanak Sahib later on in Japji Sahib. This is much later. We're not going to get to this in this course, but it's an important line nonetheless. The God is the same throughout the ages. He doesn't change, meaning he is permanent, right? He is not temporary. And then in Rag Asa, saying that again, God is and always will be, he will not leave, he's permanent. Okay, so the idea of Sat means permanent. Now we're going to change gears and look at Nam. Okay, literally, Nam, sure, it means name in just regular Punjabi, but here Nam represents God himself, the energy form of God. God acts and works through Nam, through energy. So whatever God does in this world, he does through Nam, through this smart, beautiful energy that creates and destroys and sustains and runs this whole world. Nam runs this entire universe. And looking at the additional Bani on page 38, Guru Arjan Dev Ji and Sukhmani Sahib gives a great definition and explanation of what Nam does in this world. So you can go through it and say Nam is the support of of all creatures. He's a support of the earth and solar systems. He's a support of Hindu holy texts. And he does all of these, God does all of these things through Nam. Nam is the support of all bodies, right? Nam is the support of all worlds and realms. So this Nam is a smart energy that runs this whole show. And Nam is all around us all of the time. Nam is within us too, because God is within us. God is Nam, so God is within us here. And we always hear, whether we go to the Gurdwara or to a Sikh camp or conference, that, we should experience Nam before we leave this world. Once we experience Nam, we are at the highest stage of enlightenment. Once we are experiencing it 24 hours a day. And someone always raises it's a good question. Hey, if Nam is within us, and if we're always surrounded by Nam, then why can't we feel and experience Nam all the time? Why is it that we can't feel Nam if it's everywhere? And I want you to imagine that on a whiteboard we have Nam, just the word Naam written, because Nam is everywhere, okay? Nam is everywhere. So the entire board is Nam. Then I want you to put a little dot and put in your name. Your name. You can call yourself a Jeev, a life form, Jeev. So technically, that dot representing you're surrounded by Nam, and Nam is within you as well. So one would think that, if Nam is within me and I'm surrounded by Nam, then I should be able to feel it. But why can't I feel it? I want you to take around that dot of your name or Jeev, and I want you to draw a circle around that dot. That circle represents Home. It's a wall. Home is ego. And we'll go into this later on in this course. But Home is ego. And the idea that I have the power to do something, that I can do something, that is Home. The idea that I have the power, God does not. That feeling of Home, that I have some sort of power, that blocks us from experiencing Nam. It prevents us from experiencing Nam. Even though it's all around us, we have developed this wall of ego that prevents us from experiencing Nam. And the goal of Sikhi is to use the tools of Gurbani to break this wall down. So what are some of those tools? Those tools are Kirtan, singing Gurbani in Rag, doing your Nitnem, keeping Rehet, doing Seva, being kind and compassionate to all. Using these tools and connecting to God through these tools over time will help break this wall down. Okay? And the metaphor of this wall is actually Guru Nanak Sahib's own metaphor. And later on in Japji Sahib, we're actually going to cover this in more depth. The line is given, Kiv kure tutte bal. How can I break this wall of falsehood? Okay, and we're going to go over that in much more depth, so I don't want to get too into it now. But keep that metaphor in mind. It's a very important metaphor that how can I experience Nam? What is preventing me? And that's that wall of Home. That is preventing me from experiencing God's energy. And perhaps, sometimes when you're doing your Path, or you're listening, or you're singing Kirtan and Rag, or you're doing Seva, there are times where you may be overcome with emotion. For example, you're listening to Kirtan, Rag Asa is being played early in the morning at sunrise, and the notes sound beautiful, the words are beautiful, you understand what they mean. And suddenly you notice that there's tears flowing down your eyes, and you're overcome with this happiness, this emotion. And then once the Shabad ends, that feeling somewhat continues, but then as you go to the Langar hall, you talk to your friends, you begin eating, suddenly you talk about all this regular stuff again. Oh, what are you doing later today? Oh, you want to see this movie? Or how's your studying going? And suddenly you stop crying, you stop feeling that emotional power, and you feel normal, right? You're just with your friends again, with your family. So when you felt that emotional connection to God, when there were tears flowing down your face, when you felt that there was some sort of love being created, you temporarily breached that wall of Home. You used the tool of Kirtan and you broke through that wall, and some of that Nam entered within you and you experienced it. Or vice versa, internally you broke that wall down and the Nam within you was able to express itself. So you felt that bliss of being one with Nam. To experience Nam, you felt it temporarily for those few minutes. But unfortunately, once we forgot about that, we went back to our daily life, that wall closed up again. That little piece of wall you were able to break down and get through, that wall was back up again. The goal of Sikhi is that you want to get to a point spiritually where the entire wall is completely demolished forever. And Nam is free-flowing through you, and you experience that bliss all the time. You experience Nam all the time. Okay? So again, the Bani here by Guru Arjan Dev Ji and Sukhmani Sahib, describes Nam in much more depth and the power of it. Nam again is a smart energy that runs this entire world. God is Nam. God acts through Nam. Okay, it is that energy that creates, destroys, sustains, maintains, makes us feel certain ways, does certain things. It is the energy that runs this entire world. Okay, and with that, we will continue the discussion of the Mool Mantra next week. And I hope that the activity also helps you understand these words better and also provides practical ways of applying what you learned today to your daily life. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.